Alright, what's up? We're reading a new chapter of We Can't Study, localized here as We Never Learn. I've decided to use the Viz official localization now that I'm caught up, or at least I'll give it a try. So far, many things I already dislike. I don't like it being localized as We Never Learn instead of We Can't Study. We Can't Study is much more representative of what the series is actually about, right? It's about their difficulty studying. I mean, they eventually learn to study quite well, which is a great achievement or whatever, but We Never Learn completely defeats the possibility of such a thing happening. I mean, the thing was, they could learn, they were just bad at studying the things they were bad at. They could learn all sorts of things about their fields of inherent talent. Anyways, the next thing I don't like the font they use to localize Ogata Udon. I think these like faux brush fonts, this like thing that kind of imitates calligraphy but isn't quite there, is like not good. It just kind of devalues calligraphy as an art form, I think, by making it, I don't know, just kind of seem like chintzy and just sort of an aesthetic thing instead of something that actually has like sort of an emotional representation inside of it. All right, whatever. This is all irrelevant. None of this actually matters that much. Let's just talk about the manga itself, which is getting very, very interesting, very intense. This Ogata arc, I found myself very emotionally impacted by. As I said before, I've always enjoyed the series. I've always been impressed by the series, but I've never really been moved by the series too often. But this arc is hitting a lot of pretty close, pretty inner things. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just talk about it. Let's just read it. So Naruyuki's given her this test. He says it's also a game, and this is something again. As in all these arcs, he kind of schemes off camera a little. We don't get to see what his plan is, but it's something that of course he hopes will kind of restore Ogata's self compassion. Okay, so Ogata's language. I hated myself. Person I always wanted to be is always at my side. I long to be like her every time. So person I wanted to be was always at my side. I wanted to be like her, and every time I compared myself to her, I ended up hating myself. This essay is about me. I wanted to be like Ri-chan. My dream is to work with the stars. I didn't have the talent to give up. Ooh! This is not about her. This is about Furuhashi. This is about Fumino-chan's desire to be like Ritsu, to be like Ogata. Ooh, ooh. Now that's quite interesting, isn't it? To see this different perspective, to realize they felt that way about each other. Okay, so we go back to the flashback, which I'm very happy with. I felt like that was kind of underexplored at first. Talents are better served by choosing a different path. Change your target field. Listening for Hashi. I like how these panels here, kind of introducing the flashback, don't make it clear whose perspective it is. You know, it's really emphasizing they were in the same situation. So we don't even know kind of whose flashback we're segueing into at first. Ooh, so Fumino Furuhashi was originally going to give in. Was originally going to actually change her career path to something she had more talent for. And it was Ogata who was so stubborn. I'll make my own choices. I don't have a picometer of use for your opinion. Using some very Dr. Stone-esque hyperbole, a picometer, of course, being something unfathomably small. Kind of like 10 billion%. Yuzo got a science genius. She and I were assigned to tutor together. We're in the same boat. Furuhashi is looking really, really rough in this flashback. I think the contrast between their personalities here is really well emphasized by the art. I really love this idea that to kind of teach Ogata, you know, this idea of self-compassion, we're examining it from Furuhashi's perspective, like this kind of melding together of their stories and really emphasizing how revolutionary their friendship was for both of them, I think is so, so, so beautiful. Father was totally in love with math. He would have longed for a daughter like her. Another really wonderful story element. Perfectly interwoven in this one plot. Rejected by my father and my teacher, my cherished dream beyond my reach, I was so jealous of that girl, and I hated myself for it. Give up. Kind of looking at this beautiful cinematic moment. The fireflies illuminating the twilight. She asks her the pivotal question, are you going to change your path? Is there something you wanted to study? It's not cut out for it. Why? Isn't the point of studying to learn what you want to learn? What does talent or someone else's approval have to do with it? I could not care less about other people's opinions, about our aptitude and potential. Nice. Really, really nice. Showing her at this time of resoluteness, where, you know, maybe she said all of this despite hating herself. Maybe she said all of this despite her jealousy for Furuhashi. But she said it regardless, you know? She said it because this is what she truly believes. This is what she really thinks. And it's stronger than how she feels, you know? Because it can inspire change in someone else. Oh, and again, we're straying into territory that's like very personal for me, but I think it's really beautiful the way that someone can be unsure of themselves, someone can actually be full of doubt and self-loathing and conflict, but they can still express something encouraging, something empowering, something that represents what they wish were true, what they wish they could wholeheartedly believe. What they know to be true but can't really feel necessarily, but that in doing so, someone else that's in the same position as them can see that and can see it without knowing all of the struggling and all of the angst behind it, and act on it and be empowered by it and think that they can have the courage that the other person does. It's really, really fantastic. I mean, it's difficult still. Wouldn't it be nicer if we all just could believe what we say and allow ourselves to motivate ourselves? But this sort of scaffolding, this sort of system of assuming the resoluteness of others and acting based on the you that believes in me, it gets it done. It works. It feels miraculous, but it works. And look, Furuhashi believes it when she says that. We didn't know each other at all back then. It was just one little comment. Richan, I bet you don't even remember. You're the only person in the world who didn't deny my dream. You're the one who helped me understand that it was okay to try it. I'm sure you have no idea how dazzling you were to me. So even if you don't like yourself, I will always love you, Richan. Oh, so good. And I just... So clearly, Narayuki told Furuhashi everything that was happening. He got her totally involved in all of this. And I think in a lesser series, in a more harem-centric series where all sentimentality is lost in the face of the demands of the genre, this would be dramatic. This would cause jealousy and bickering between the two, and it would be like a whole thing. But it's in service to the actual characters as human beings, and in service to just actually trying to tell a nice story, that they allowed themselves this almost transgression of the genre. Oh, and she's even here! Oh, that's so good! It's Narayuki's idea for me to write about how I feel. Both felt the same way about each other this whole time. That makes me happy. Still afraid everyone will see the ugly things about me. Never judge you. It's up to you how you feel about yourself. Honestly, I don't know what ugly things you're talking about. I can tell you how we feel. If I did see something I didn't like in you, if you did something that seemed wrong, as your tutor, I would let you know. You and I could address it together. It still didn't get better. Work on it together no matter how long it takes. And learn from it. What else is that? Goes for the head pat. Furuhashi is stunned. Naruyuki can do this so naturally. Can just do such romantic and intimate things, seemingly ignorantly, seemingly without thinking of it. But that's just the sort of good teacher he is. This is really nice. This is really, really nice. Oh, and everyone's here. Alright. So it turns into a full-on party. But it proves, you know, just how much everyone wants to be here. Can't have Christmas in Japan without fried chicken. A long story behind that involving World War II and the long occupation of Japan afterwards, but whatever, it's a fact now. Who cares? I love fried chicken. There was a Christmas party. He invited us for a break from studying. That's how we used the udon shop. 30 minutes to do something together. Something. Oh my gosh. They actually play the Rizu games. This is nice. And it's like a real throwing her in the deep end, you know? Like, this is elements of her life that for so long she had kept secluded, that were bound up in her mind with all of these complexes of shame and envy. And so it's like to suddenly just have all of your closest friends there playing this game with you is quite insane. It's quite a 180 of all signification and association and stuff. But it must be so overwhelming for her, you know? Like, I think it's just one of those things where your emotions are so flooded. And at the same time, she's holding hands with the guy she likes and stuff like that. It's just too much. It's just crazy. But it's not bad, right? In the end, she's happy. Gran's game. It's my first time playing with so many fans. Gran. I might be going back to Jimmy's box. I don't know. It's fine. Gran. Anyways. Say 10 things you like about Player 2. I could easily say 100. The way you sniff through your nose, the way your hair smells. Thanks for everything, Kohai. It involves everyone. It's fun. Maybe the person who made it wanted to pull. Ooh! Did Naruyuki actually get the solve? Did Naruyuki correctly read the actual intent of Ogata's dead grandmother? We had kind of put aside that mystery, right? And I think that was good to do, because it's not just about, like, puzzling out why your grandmother started acting cold to you. Clearly, the sort of psychological ramifications of that run much deeper. It's not going to be one of those things where you just, like, change your mind about everything because of it. So I was really glad that it wasn't focused on that mystery, but it was just focused on this sort of emotional condition and how you can kind of learn to be more self-compassionate. But in the end, you know, just sort of incidentally, it looks like we're going to learn. She was bochieing. She was bochieing her granddaughter. This is the term I just made up now, referring to the wonderful manga and now anime Hitori Bochi no Maoru Maru Saikatsu, where this girl is incredibly shy, and throughout elementary school she only has one friend. And then after elementary school they start going to different middle schools. So her one friend, her only friend in this entire world, says we can't be friends anymore. We're not going to be friends ever again unless you can befriend every single person in your middle school class. And of course, Bochi, being incredibly shy, is overwhelmed by this and pukes a lot, and it's just a wonderful misadventure as she slowly but surely makes more friends, and anyways, it's so wonderful. But it seems like Ogata's grandmother was doing the same thing. You're too good to just have one friend. You deserve to be closer with more people. Other people deserve to get to know the wonderful person that is you. So, for your own good, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to be cold. I'm going to be distant. Alright, so we return to this flashback. She remembers incidents. What about playing with kids your own age for a change? Not just grinding the abacus with your grandma. Just want to play with you. Oh, and this is where she gets the idea for the board game. Seeing a bunch of other kids, Rizu's age, going for it. Ooh, can't always be with you. Someday we'll be in middle school. I am. Oh, all right, all right. Well, this makes sense. This is quite a sensible answer. It's, in retrospect, not a very surprising one. It's not that I was really anticipating some big twist, but I thought it might be kind of a more, I don't know, elaborate tragedy. Some kind of secret. She knew she had cancer, but she knew she was just getting old, so it's kind of the same thing. Oh, and her heartbroken face when she says "I am." That's quite well done. And here at the end, amidst all this chaos and fun, she really realizes, oh, how nice. This is a really wonderful chapter. She's thinking about her grandmother, thinking that she would approve. Hopefully not actually hallucinating. That may be a little much, but... Okay, so Narayuki calls off the fun. 30 minutes is enough. No more studying by yourself. This is amazing. Do you still dislike yourself? Like yourself, I win. Come together no matter how long it takes. No, once again, I'm really bad at games. Aww. I like... Well, now, it's one thing just to say that. And I think for the sake of this arc having a nice conclusion and things feeling, you know, happy, a happy ending to this whole kind of crisis of self, that's fine. But I like that she's still a little flustered, you know, that she's realizing that now her kind of feelings towards herself are very bound up in her gratitude to Narayuki, and that things are getting almost alarming how strongly she feels about Narayuki, and that there may be more sad and intense times to come. That to me is like a kind of a nice compromise, you know? There's almost like a bittersweetness to this ending. She's looking longingly at Narayuki, blushing. It's very cute and romantic, and yet it's not totally at the end. So I think the ending is fine. But I just want to say, like, at first, they kind of faked me out here. I thought she was going to be like, no, I kind of still dislike myself. You know, like, I'm touched by this gesture, and I noted that we have a lot to work on, but we're not there yet. And I was going to really applaud them if they went in that direction for the sheer accuracy of that. I've been learning a lot about ideas of self-esteem and self-compassion lately. And until recently, I would have thought these things are basically the same thing. It's kind of how positively you think of yourself. But it's not really. Self-esteem is based on facts about what you can do, what you can achieve relative to other people. It's about thinking that you're good at things, about thinking that you're a good person because of X, Y, and Z, because of things you've accomplished, things you own, things you have the ability to do. It's all bound up in that. And that's fine. That's good. It can be like very motivating to kind of have your self-esteem tied to things you want to achieve. It can be a really pushing force in order to get those things done. And the feeling of having high self-esteem, the feeling of accomplishing a lot and feeling good about yourself because of it, of course, is a wonderful feeling. And people deserve to have avenues towards it. However, it's extremely fragile without self-compassion behind it. Things can and almost assuredly will happen in your life that are tragic and out of your control. Things that will rob you of your self-esteem, that will remove those achievements or those abilities or those possessions, that will cause you to fail at the things that you cherish most. You'll meet people that are better than you at things. You'll meet things that you can't do. You'll suffer. You'll come up against all of those things. And if you lose your self-esteem and you have nothing else, if your entire identity is bound up with your ability to do things, you're gonna be like in hell. It's going to be hell when this sort of thing happens. So what's even more important than self-esteem, what you need as a foundation to your self-esteem is self-compassion, which is the ability to sympathize with yourself, the ability to look at your failures and your successes and your struggles and your opportunities and think, well, I'm trying my best. That person there is trying their best. They're doing what they can. They're not perfect, but it's okay. I still like them. I'm still compassionate for them. I still want to see them succeed. You know, it's such a revolutionary concept because it's something that we would never think twice about saying about other people, right? To see someone struggling, maybe misstepping, but overall trying to become the person they want to be. We would have so much compassion for such a person. And yet, to have that sort of compassion for ourselves, I think, is so much more difficult and really kind of is overlooked, I think, in a lot of mental health discussion. Because for some people, it's very natural, I think. For some people, this has never been a problem in their life. And then if it does become a problem in their life, or if it's a problem in someone's life that's close to them, they don't really know how to deal with it. They've never really considered this idea of an absence of self-compassion, or how to generate self-compassion, or to make self-compassion convincing and true. So I really like that this arc was largely about self-compassion, that it wasn't about convincing Ritsu that I keep saying Ritsu, but it's just Rizu. It's not about convincing her that, you know, she's of equal merit to everyone else, or that because she's really good at math, you know, that would be the exact opposite lesson that we would want to take away from an arc in this series. Or any other number of things to boost her self-esteem, right? It was about boosting her self-compassion. It was about seeing herself in Fumino and realizing the compassion she has for Fumino, she should have for herself as well. It's really, really nice. And it hits me at a point in my life where I'm thinking about a lot of these sorts of things, both for myself and about people in my life. And it's just like kind of some lessons that I really think were well expressed here. Yeah, I hope people like this arc as much as I did. Um, I don't know how they're gonna top it with the inevitable Fumino arc and Uruka arc. But first, we'll have the necessary little tour through our girls. Everybody will get their own just for fun chapter, and I really enjoy those too. So let's look forward to that next week. And until then, keep compassionate towards yourself. Okay?